before that we hung out?
No, before any of that, she knew you as my employee who bought me a $60 video game for my birthday.
I always forget about this. I'm just a nice person.
I've had quite a few roommates ruin a few different.
Had to look at me. I'm like, I had a couple
It's
glasses.
okay.
I replaced it. It's a lot of things that rubbed off like from you guys, so I'm just taking it on my own, but I won't be a stranger.
Yeah, end of an
end of an
era.
era.
I know. Hello everybody, welcome back to I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. I am Shaunda, you're on the other side of the room, in the living room on the other side of those French doors that you see behind me every time. I'm with the Wellborns. You're like, ah. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Jessica.
And I'm Trevor.
Nice.
We're the Wellborns.
We're the Wellborns. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah. But I just wanted to talk about the time that I spent here and the people that was all here before me. Me being the last one.
Yeah, end of an
End of an
era.
era.
I know. It really is. How'd you guys feel?
It's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're both really ready to live on our own because we've been together for 7, almost 8 years and have never been able to live on our own, and so it's really exciting to be moving into this step in our relationship.
Yeah.
But also, like, I grew up in a busy household, and then like us living with a bunch of people,
Yeah.
it's been a busy household, so like it's going to be a type of quiet that I'm certainly not used to, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's exciting. How about you, Trevor?
Same. Ditto.
Same?
Yeah. No, it'll be cool. We've had the house since 2018, so, and within the first couple months we had our first roommate, so it's been 5 years since then. I lived with people before, but I've never lived on my own, which I still won't have, but
Good stuff.
it'll be cool to have the house to ourselves, but
Yeah.
we'll miss some of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I know like being in this area has been like huge too. Like Towson has played a part in your guys' relationship a lot. So Towson, that's where you guys like met.
Not exactly. No, she dragged me up to Towson.
Right.
I had plans for College Park, but I wanted to stick with her and not live far away. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we initially met at a little community college called Anne Arundel Community College, and then we were both in the same class, so that's how we ended up meeting. And then we were together for a little bit there, but I already had my sights set on Towson.
Yes.
And so we both ended up moving this way, and Trev was in the market he wanted to purchase a house, especially with like the idea of being able to build equity, and doing so at a younger age was very enthralling. So he, when we decided to move this direction, he wanted to go the route of purchasing, and then we could rent out the extra bedrooms to afford the mortgage, because being like young 20-something people, there's no way.
It's a
especially
huge
going to college
accomplishment
full
though.
time.
It's really big though, like at the age like pretty young, and it's pretty cool.
thank you.
Yeah. So like what did the conversation look like, knowing that it was just like strangers like in the house, like what did that look like, that kind of conversation?
I don't know if we ever had like that conversation. It just happened, but
Obviously too trusting of me.
Like, yo, we got you guys.
That's fine. Just move in.
Yeah, the whole process, like from what I came in on, it was like all Facebook that you guys met people.
Yeah. So
like
that,
Facebook groups.
That was kind of how I pulled my weight to start too, because when Trev first bought the house, like we were still kind of early in our relationship, so I'm sure everybody was kind of giving us the sideways glance, like, you guys have been dating for only like a year and a half, and you're buying a house together.
Yeah.
And so
That would be sketchy.
We didn't. It's my
like
house.
so we had to have this. We had to have those. When we talk about larger conversations, it was a little bit more centered around, okay, so Trevor's the one who the house is named under. If anything ever happens to us, like, we understand that the house is Trevor's. So some of those like difficult conversations, because we always had to talk about the like what if, should anything ever happen in our relationship.
But then we got a dog 2 months before we moved in, and everything was
Yeah,
out
that
the
too.
window.
But we had that conversation too. We talked about how, especially at the time, like financially speaking, like you were in a much better position to pay for medical bills. So like we had to have that big conversation about with our dog. If we were to split up, I would have to be okay with you taking Asina, because I know she'd be cared after if anything happened. So that was like similar situation here, and I pulled my weight by really diving into the Facebook Marketplace groups to find people to rent out our spare bedrooms, and so that was kind of like how I helped out, was trying to help and assist and find people to rent the different rooms to assist with the mortgage. And we leaned a lot on Facebook. There's a lot of like student groups of people who are actively seeking a place to either sublease with another potential student, or look for available places to rent, especially if you're a student who doesn't want to live on campus and in dorms. So we really try to tap into that. And then we made some flyers. We put up a couple of flyers around campus too. Yeah. We did get a couple calls from those.
You think so?
I think
I don't think anybody saw those.
I feel like we got a couple texts.
Okay.
It really wasn't many, but like it brought in like a curious person here and there who just wanted to feel it out. But that's how we really found most of our people, through those Facebook groups.
Yeah, you created a whole virtual walkthrough of pictures and describing rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Well, we were lucky because we could use a lot of the pictures from the sale of the house, like the pictures that were taken for when the house was sold to us.
Yeah. You guys did a lot of work on this house, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's pretty cool. I know I didn't come through like the Towson way, but I met you through work. So like it was pretty cool being out and not knowing, like he was like, yeah, I rent out rooms. And I think I came in like a really good time, because I guess that leads me to say like how many people were in the house before me.
Before you, not many. I feel like there was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I think you saw a lot of them. Well, I guess.
Yeah, you did. You've been here through most of our roommate.
Yeah.
There were like 2 or 3 like temporary, only a few month stays that were before you. And like 1 or 2 that like were full year stays before you. But
yeah. Got you. So I read this article. And it said 6 tips to maintain lasting. Now. Yeah. Get my reading up 101. Okay. 6 tips to maintain lasting and meaningful friendships by Psych Central. It states it takes 200 hours of spending time together before you consider someone a close friend. So when did you consider me as a close friend, or
how many hours have we spent together? That's wild to
think
think
about.
about.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Been here 4 years. The time that
how many hours are a year?
Broken up from you guys. Yeah, no, never really had a break.
What does being together? How does that? How do you
I know,
calculate
how does that say? Well,
every time we pass each other in the house, that's another minute. No.
I said time spent. But when did we finally consider you a close friend?
Yeah.
I feel like pretty quick into it. I know like you and Trevor had a friendship before you moved in here, so like I didn't have as much of a relationship with you when you first moved in, and or at least I guess we did a little bit beforehand, because we hung out a little bit beforehand. Yeah.
I know we went out to a club.
Yeah,
I think it was the power plant.
But before
we
that,
did. Before that, we hung out.
Before any of that, she knew you as my employee who bought me a $60 video game for my birthday.
I always forget about this. I'm just a nice person, and I
so
swear,
I tried to tell her.
I don't even know. It's just a story that I just really can't explain. Like I just got him a game, the Spider-Man game that came out, and I was just like, yeah.
Talking a lot about it at work.
It is cool. I don't know if I met you before then, because I was just like, when you came
did.
into the store, it must have been after then.
I don't think we did meet before then.
Whoa, so you already had the game, and then you came to the store like later on, and I'm like, hey, and you'd be like, I told you, like, she's just cool. Like, I don't know the conversation.
Like,
No. I think when I first saw you, Fox, I was like a little bit just like, that's his girlfriend. Like, I'm like, who is that?
Everybody in the store was
Everybody
like,
in the store said that, because he was just like, like I went to David, and I was like, David, who is that? And he was just like, that's I think that's Trevor's girlfriend. And I'm like, no way. It was just hard to believe. Like I don't know why it's like a thing, but it was just
I think
like
you were wearing a nice skirt that day.
she wore a dress. Man, she had stockings on with some brown boots and the blue dress. Because you were going to your parents' house.
Yeah.
You were going to your parents'
power
house.
move.
And it was, she's like, yeah, we gotta go. And I'm like, all right, bye, Trevor. Like, have a good time. It's like, I got it down here. I'll hold down the fort. It was a whole thing. But yeah, no, I was smitten.
Oh,
Yeah. Trevor. Like, sucker. But no. It was cool. It was cool stuff. But I know that we spent a couple hours together, like in the house. We like
we definitely did. And I feel like within like I mean, I think you are an incredibly like outgoing and friendly person, so getting along with you was totally easy. Like you were just a really easy person to talk to and like get to know at the beginning. So I feel like it didn't take long for me to consider you like a close friend. Yeah. And then especially by the time you were living with us for like a month or two, it was just like we're always around each other. We're always talking. We had shows, like we were watching shows together. We were having dinners together. So
we
like
almost beat that one video game together.
We almost beat I gave up at the very end.
That is so true. Remnant. It's wild.
Tell us if you know how to beat the boss.
Yeah, but I definitely feel like I considered you a close friend really early on when you first started living with us because you were just so easy to talk to.
Oh, thanks. So that leaves the second friend. I have to say, Armin, our friend's about to get married. Yes. So that's exciting. I feel like Armin was the second close, like huge.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of people come through the house who like we'll keep tabs on, like we all want to keep up to date with what's happening in each other's lives. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like people who feel truly like family, I feel like you and Armin are absolute family for life.
Yeah.
After all that we have lived through together.
We definitely picked up on like a lot of things in the house too. So like it would be really cool to come back because like the rituals and traditions that we also like have too is like huge. So like in the house when I came here and saw that you guys like did a dinner for everybody, like welcoming, which was really nice. It wasn't like I had hamburgers. I knew hamburgers and some other stuff, which is really cool. But it was like for every roommate, right? So like it was just really nice to have that. Yeah.
Like, unintentionally became a thing every time a new roommate came.
I don't know that it was unintentional.
I think it just happened.
I feel like we were trying to make everyone feel welcome into the house, and that's like
that was like the big part that I wanted to do is when you're moving into a place, especially if you're moving into a place where maybe some of the people who live there have been living there, so they already have like a pre-existing relationship, I feel like it can feel easy to want to hide in your room or like almost like exile yourself from the crowd because you don't know them and they all know each other and they're able to have banter. Yeah. But I feel like having the dinner kind of creates the icebreaker. Yeah. So that...
Or we went out.
Yeah. Or we would go out. But like having that like one experience like right after the person just moves in makes it so that it introduces them to the group that already lives there. We get to know them a little bit more and then everybody's kind of out of their shell a little bit so that moving forward it's a little less awkward.
Yeah. I know Christmas just passed too, and the other tradition that we like got was like burning a tree, the Christmas tree. How do you feel that we didn't burn a Christmas tree like right now, like this year?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, we didn't get a real tree this year. We should have a little small one out of you, but yeah, I'm gonna miss it this year for sure. Yeah.
You're a little arsenal.
Yeah, just a little bit. No, it was safe. We're trained professionals.
Yeah, we are.
Don't know about that.
We were very close. It was a close call the first time.
Yeah, that one wire was kind of close. But yeah. I missed the real Christmas tree, and now I'm gonna miss the real Christmas tree burning. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Didn't think about that. My fault. Yeah, we missed. But it's next. We got next.
I think we're real trees 2024.
Still have half a tree back there?
Nah, I burned it all.
Okay. Burned it all. No, it's cool stuff.
Been used as wood a little bit over time for the last year.
And bonfires.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had that a lot too, so that was
Yeah.
really nice. It really did roll all together.
Yeah. Man, it's kind of crazy to think back on all of it and feel like, I guess like during that time too, we were going to school, so our work schedules had to be a bit more geared toward, or like manipulated around our school schedule. But I also feel like it left open more free evenings.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you see that so much more than we do now.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
We're adults now.
I know.
It's huge. It sucks.
find more time for these things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's definitely going to be a thing. I think that's why like I made my podcast, because I really want to like keep up relationships and like have something to talk about and people on in groups of people.
Yeah.
So I
Nice.
think that would be really cool. Speaking of relationships though, I know that there's conflict that builds up in like relationships and whatnot, and I know that the dude, because that was like an insane story about like how you both felt, because I never ever seen you guys like upset about something. I know about like the incident with the dogs, but like with another person in the house, and I wasn't there because I was at work. But it was just huge, like having somebody leave, and usually I know it's like an easy process to get somebody out the house when they're ready to go, but
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of good.
Jerry, it's like, oh, his
Jerry.
name's not Jerry,
Good
but
Jerry.
for purposes we're using Jerry.
We had a lot of good roommates and a lot of good experiences. A lot of roommates who were just good roommates that we didn't end up becoming friends with, but you know, had like were respectful and you know we just got along with well. And then we had a couple that were not so great.
Yeah, but it was very light. Like it was just probably like two people.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, because we interviewed everybody before we. It was only one interview. Like sometimes I feel like if we had done a second or like just like talked to people more, we would have realized like, yeah, this probably isn't the person to live here. But we interviewed one person at one point when we really needed to fill the room, but like we were having a good amount of people interested. He was like a 50-something-year-old white Buddhist monk.
So
right. And I so badly wanna see him again.
Yeah.
But we ended up like not renting to him because we had like a split second thought of like would he vibe in the house? Like I don't know.
It
He
is
was
a
Buddhist
vibe.
monk,
We were
but
like,
I don't know.
like-
I feel like he could have
He's
taught
still,
us
like-
the ways of the universe. But
feel like he
we'd
would've
all
been
been
like
so zen.
the XL one. Yeah, and just like I always wanted to bow to him for some reason. I'm like, you're mine. That's all I wanted to do. But yeah, like I felt like if he would have came in the house, like he would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like as a like nice, cool, older.
I was like, you know, we're gonna be
Dude.
like loud at night. He was like,
Yeah.
I'll meditate through it, no problem. I will be in my
He
room
did seem
for
really sweet.
20 hours a day.
Yeah.
We hesitated on him just because like thoughts of him not necessarily vibing in the house, and then like the next day or the day after he had already signed somewhere else, so we lost
Yeah.
out on him. Instead of him though, I'm pretty sure the universe gave us some like karmic backlash for
Yeah.
turning him away, and we got our worst roommate.
Yeah.
Who we just like it. He just had like inner demons, which we all
Yeah.
do, but he had them bad, and
Yeah.
we like could kind of tell that in the interview, but we were like
Yeah.
I feel like we can
work with it.
work with him.
And we were just a little bit desperate to get the room filled. And,
Yeah.
thinking about like finances too, just being able to make sure that we had everything covered for the mortgage.
Yeah. We did get to hang out with him though. Like we played
Yeah.
We
tennis
tried.
with him, and
Yeah.
I know tennis. Like he was an active guy, it seemed like, but he didn't like going out. He was an introvert. for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, he was a
Absolutely.
real introvert. But
Yeah.
when he opened up, like he ate with us and had food. He was cool.
Yeah.
But just towards the end, like, what do you think it was that just made it a little bit hard for him to like leave, or like?
He wanted to leave. Sorry. I just go ahead.
Yeah. He was leaving. Like
Yeah.
his lease had ended, and he was going to a different place. And I think what it was too is that his lease was ending and maybe he wanted to re-sign with us. Did he want to re-sign with us, or did we kind of say like, no?
I'm forgetting the logistics. That sounds a little familiar because we were like so ready to have him out of the house, and like the contract allowed him to be like, he said he was going to go out but then needed more time. I forget exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the situation was, his lease had ended, and as a part of our end of lease, there are like specifications that have to be met to receive your security deposit back. And a lot of it tends to just involve like making sure that the room looked the same way that it was offered to you. If there's any damage to the room, that it's repaired before you leave. Otherwise, it would have to come out of the security deposit so that we can repair it. And then just, we've also factored into the contract like basic cleaning of the house, because every person who has a room here also has access to shared spaces. So living room, kitchen, anywhere that you might have hung out in or had, created a mess in, that's kind of pulled into the lease or end of lease agreement, that you have to help kind of tidy and clean some of those spaces.
Because we didn't have great arrangements for that throughout the year. Like we didn't like have a chore list that people had to do. Like we tried to get everybody to kind of do their share, but it's hard to. So
and it's
kind
also
of a
just
catch-all at the end.
to avoid, like in our home we have 3 bedrooms where all 3 of those bedrooms share one bathroom. And so knowing that there's like 3 people usually within this bathroom space, that you don't have one person creating all this mess and then leaving the house because their lease ended, but then leaving the mess behind for everybody else. So like we just kind of built that into the agreement and contracts so that we could try to make sure everybody else was looked out for a little bit as well. And so there was just some friction at the end regarding some of those aspects in terms of like leaving the room as you found it. And
the man had never cleaned before a day in his life. Like
we were having issues
showing
where
him how to sweep.
he was what's the powder stuff called? It's like cleaning powder.
Comment.
Where you like pour it and then you let it sit and then you clean it up. He would pour it and then it was like, that's clean. I poured the powder all over the toilet and that's done. It's clean.
This is used for cleaning.
And
I've
like, right, but you wipe it up.
He said, I think he told me, like, he said that it sucks it up and then it disappears.
I don't even know.
Like,
I can't even remember.
It's like, no. It's like, no. Like, you gotta wipe it up. Yeah, that was like a.
And then there was the issue with, so as a part of the contract, it is written within the contract that's signed by everybody that we have 30 days to give you your security deposit. So once you leave, that's when we do our inspection, and then we have to inspect the space before we can give back the security deposit, because if there is damage done to the room that was not repaired, we have to inspect to know about it, to then say, okay, well, we're going to have to take out X amount so that we can do the repair. And then, here's the remaining security deposit. Or if the inspection goes well, then we give back the deposit in full. And usually we've never had any issues. Like, everybody's been great with the cleaning and understanding of the timing to give back security deposit. We've rarely ever actually taken the full 30 days. Usually it's like with that person within the next week or so when they leave. But in his instance, he wanted it the day he was moving out. And we're like, we have to do the inspection after you leave. And there ended up being a situation where he was refusing to leave the house and like threatening to damage the house further if we did not pay him the security deposit in full right then and there on his last day of moving out.
Like, that's wild.
And
that is like crazy.
Like there was just no reasoning with him or getting through to him.
It's like, he said, I'm going to call the cops. And then he said, I'm going to break something until you give me the security deposit. I said, I'm going to call the cops.
And signed contract, signed piece of paper or not, we just kind of made the decision that we would rather not get the police involved and rather not have him cause harm to our animals potentially, or further damage our house all over the deposit, that we could just go ahead. Like, essentially we just gave him his deposit to get him the heck out of the house so we could just be done with him.
We did make him come back to clean.
He did.
Once or twice, though, yeah.
Yeah, mainly because
One of the times it was he just left the powder in there, right?
Yeah.
Or like I had
A
to
lot
come
of it
behind him.
was that he was causing more mess to clean and just crazy.
People.
Yeah.
Dealing with them, but no, I'm glad I was like the easy one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, cause like being in the room upstairs and like with 2 other guys, I was just like, and then telling them to like, hey, just you gotta do is like wipe around the toilet, wipe off the counters,
Yeah.
don't leave anything. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's common courtesy.
You sent him a whole like instruction manual one time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I
Whole
forgot about the
document.
text that I had to like send them. Like
Passive aggressive
wipe it
post-it
down.
notes.
Could have did that, but the text message. I'm like, they'll seen it in the morning. Wake up and be like, oh, Shaunda sent a long text. Like, hey, try to be nice, but do that. So,
This is how to clean.
I feel like that's the majority of like what a good versus bad roommate was for us. Is we really didn't have any major issues with roommates, aside from what are we calling him, Jerry? Who they're not. I can't speak to them very well now, but like I just remember at the time, and you felt this at the time as well, and Trev was starting to feel it towards the end, but especially you and I at first were feeling like a little bit unsafe with him in the house at certain periods of time. So at that point, it was a question of our safety.
Yeah.
So that also too became something that Trevor and I had to take into consideration, because if he wanted to renew his lease with us, we had decided, rather than do the renewal, we had decided to put our foot down and say, we're sorry, the lease has to end here.
Yeah.
And for our own personal reasons, it was to make sure that we could feel safe in our own home, but also anybody else renting here could feel safe. But anybody else who was, quote unquote, a bad roommate, it was more just about cleanliness and like just being a good roommate and cleaning up behind yourself. And like, I know a big one for us was always the kitchen. If people are cooking things in the kitchen, we had
common areas.
One roommate, actually 2, if I think back to it, but who really liked their like bacon or steaks and stuff like that. And there'd always be grease everywhere. And then the other thing too is just, as a homeowner, whatever pots and pans you get, if you're with anybody in your own home, like anybody who like you're renting to, yes, like we essentially just knew that we're sharing all those pots and pans and dishware with everybody, but like none of it was gonna stay pristine or pretty. And we've had quite a few roommates ruin a few different pots.
I had to look at me. I'm like, I had a couple.
It's
glasses.
okay.
I replaced it.
You did go through your glass shattering phase.
Did have a lot of glass shattering phase. It was accidental, but hey, it's like Shaunda, damn it! I'm like, I think when I
I
heard
feel like
it,
she
was
just had like slippery fingers for like a couple months.
Or I was
later.
like putting away something and I accidentally hit it on the edge and it just broke. I'm like, another one. I think I had like 2 or 3.
Unloading the dishwasher and just like throwing glass that way.
But accidental, but hey. We go through things. It's good stuff. It's been replaced, But since I'm the last roommate, I was gonna say specifically, I think that was like you already spoke on it about like what you will miss about me. But I just wanted to say like what I miss about like you guys is just you guys had like a lot to do in my life for the last 3 or 4 years, and like just growing up, and I saw you guys like adulting, and I was like, oh, cool. Like it'd be nice to look at like one day owning a house or getting some dogs and marriage. That wasn't in my picture, but it's really cool to like look at that and have it later on in the future. But it's a lot of things that rubbed off like from you guys, so I'm just taking it on my own, but I won't be a stranger. Keep my code in there, but I'll text, as I come over, so that's good stuff right there.
We can keep your alarm code active.
Yes, that'd
just
be
for
awesome.
you.
If I have my drunk moments, I'm like, I'm at the house. I don't know, something
we'll
like
see
that.
about that.
I barely had those though.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, it's good stuff.
No, thanks, Shaunda. You've had a big impact on our life too.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Try my best, and it's a small little individual brown girl.
I
yeah.
feel like
You were in our wedding.
Yes, you were
That
at
I
our
was.
wedding.
That I was.
But also,
Huge.
I just think that like you have brought a warmth into the house that's definitely going to be missed when you move out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're always like a warm and accepting place to turn to when needed. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
But I'm also gonna miss like any of our spontaneous game nights or like movie nights,
That's
things
why.
like that.
Had a few ideas, but they were like really crazy. I'm like, maybe one of them was like when we were painting. I was like, maybe we can like throw some paint on the wall, like actually throw it. And like, no, it's too much of a mess. Like it was just some other things that like I wanted to do in the house. Yeah, I just know I always, and I think that was like my downfall with like saying like what I could do in the house. And I know that was like an irritating time for you around that time, Trevor or Fox. I would just be like, well, maybe you can do that there and do this right there, and just like, this is our space as much as we like you. You don't have to tell it what you want to do, because it's like still our house, and you're not staying here for long.
Well, I think those are like the
for a
growing
while.
pains, right? I think Trevor and I mean, obviously we want to make sure the house feels like it's everybody's house, but then also at a certain point we started to really realize that don't take this personally towards you, by the way, because you're like a close, like you're a family member, but there was a certain point, especially with roommates, where we were realizing that like we wanted to be just the two of us, and this is like eventually this is supposed to be our home, and so especially when it came to like remodeling or painting or doing any major redecorating, we wanted it to feel like a decision that stemmed from the two of us and what we were building for the future. But it was kind of hard to still do that while we still had people around who can give input and feedback into what they like versus don't like. And it felt like you were always giving good guidance. Like you've never been like, no, it should be like this. Or
I think because like when I came in, I was expecting like homey for you guys, but I know it was like plain because of everybody. But then like as I was here, I saw it like build throughout the years, because everybody was like slowly leaving. But like before, I'm like, why aren't there any pictures up? What is it like? There were pictures.
We have pictures up, but we've actually intentionally not really put up a lot of photos of the two of us, or our dogs as much, because we didn't want it to feel like somebody was living in somebody else's home. That's something that I've always wished I saw more. Like we now that we're married and stuff, like we're a little delayed on actually getting wedding photos hung in on the wall, so those are things that we want to get done. And also I feel like with it just being you in the house, like I don't feel like we couldn't not have photos of us when we're living with you, because I feel like there's photos of the three of us that could get put up. Like we can like really expand on our family photos, but it felt like when we had a full house and every room was occupied, that we couldn't have those pictures, because it would just make other people feel a little bit like they're living in somebody else's house.
But so like when we did paint, because like I know that I was like the first one, because I started off in the main room, and I went to you and I was like, can I paint the room? And you're just like, as long as you paint it back. And I remember like choosing black, and you was like, you want a black wall? Like I'm like, yeah, I'll paint it back. And he's just like, okay, cool. And I just know how that like just rolled into like during the pandemic, we had nothing but time and painting the house, and having really good colors.
Kept
for
staying
life.
with
Really pop out colors. They were real cool. They were really cool. I really liked them. Yeah.
And we'll forever have our little COVID mural in the garage with all of our handprints.
Completely forgot about that. Armin didn't do nothing.
No, we just needed him for symmetry.
Yeah, it was nice. Oh yeah, we did. Hey, he's a symmetry kind of dude. He's cool.
Oh, but I like that. Like, but Armin and Shaunda, like some of our closest roommates who are like family to us, we have your handprints in there too.
That is really good. Oh,
We gotta put
it's gonna be great. We can't wait for it.
We have Athena's up there.
Yeah, if you've seen Otis and Teen in the corner, those are their dogs.
Your time to shine.
They're babies, right? He's so cute. All right. That was I meant to say that was like my think piece. That's my like first segment, just a think piece. And I think you guys are awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna move on to my random thought. Did you guys have any like random thoughts today before I like say mine? Like Any random.
I'll let you know if I recall one.
Sometimes I randomly think about how toothpaste is soap for the mouth while I brush my teeth.
Well said.
Wow. Yeah. It is. No, I never really thought of it like that until now, too.
It suds up and everything.
Apparently, you're not supposed to wash it out.
What did you guys think
wash
you were
it out.
doing?
Yeah, I wash it out.
I mean, obviously that's what you're doing. But when you actually think about soaping your mouth, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. You asked for a random thought.
That was a random thought.
True.
Nobody said there had to be sense like behind it.
Yeah.
It's a safe place.
That's a good one. This is a safe thing. No, it's good. My random thought was like the other day, but it still like blows my mind. So it was the Disney movie Joy, and it was a time where I forgot her name, but she was asleep, and in order to wake her up, they had to scare her awake, right? So I was just thinking about how you have a weird dream, and then you just wake up from it. It was just like, this is the most weirdest dream that I ever had. I had to my weird dream was that I was a witch, and I had to find my mom, and I was trying to find my mom in this room, and we end up in this room. I found the witch. Then the witch cast a spell on these cats, but then the cats were gone, and then these little mice came, right? The little mouse started to jump because she gave them something. And then they got teeth, right? And then they flew. They started to fly to
Flying
me.
mice with
The
teeth?
most flying mice and teeth. And it came to me, right? And I'm like, ah! But then you wake up because, we don't know what happens after, but you know what happens.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got my face somewhere off, chopped off. Little flying mice, little smaller things.
The little people in your brain said it was time to wake up.
Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing, the way how that kind of dream, either a scary dream or a weird dream or whatever type of dream, just wakes you up and you're like, gotta use the bathroom. That's it. That's all you had to do. Is just use the bathroom.
I don't wake up to dreams like that.
It's been a minute since I've startled awake. I don't know. I know what you're talking about because it's happened to me. But
Yeah. You really push through the whole thing?
I don't
You control your dreams.
I can't control my dreams. I often don't know I'm dreaming.
Oh.
Not on the inception level like she is.
I can control my dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the time I can. At some point in the dream, something weird happens, weird enough happens that I'm like, oh, this isn't normal.
I swear the next time I wake up I'm noticing that I am either naked or in boxers in public, I'm going to be like, this is it. This is my time.
But then you're actually going to be naked in boxers in public, and I'm going to be there trying to cover you.
I'm going to jump off a cliff or something. I don't know.
That would be, what a day. What a day to go through. Yeah. That's cool random thoughts, guys. Last one is appreciating the little things. The littlest thing and you can think of, or just anything. Mine was the fragrance, the car fragrances, little trees. Black ice is
Those to smoke it?
It's my favorite as well.
Smoky. Yes, no, you can
It's
never
good
go
scent.
wrong with black. So I plan on, I don't know if this is going to be a safety hazard, but I want to at least put it up an event, a black ice in my house, little events, just black ice in the house, and it's in the car, but you're in my place,
I can see it. I can see it.
Every hook in the room has a little tree on it.
There you go. I was thinking
Just
about putting it
line
in,
the
but I was I don't
walls.
want this to burn. But right
They're
outside,
under
just
each cushion of her couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells nice. And then it does. Yeah.
I look forward to
That's a
smelling your apartment.
painted environment. Yeah. Don't believe in cameras. Just car fragrance.
You're gonna find you some black ice, like wax melt.
Ooh. They're really tough to come by. I feel like the actual scent is very tough to come by because you can never get it exact to the car fragrance.
Yeah.
But if we did, I don't know. I feel like you made one before, very close.
Oh, really?
I don't know, but I do remember you having some type of that you made something.
And it smelled similar?
And it smelled very similar. I can't really remember what it is, but I swear I think you did.
Maybe we'll have to look for it.
Yeah.
Look for the scent. We can make it homemade.
Right. Oh, did you guys have anything that you wanted to appreciate? Something small or
Sunsets.
nice? They're fiery sometimes, especially in the heat.
Yeah. It's important to appreciate the small things.
Which sunsets?
Which ones? Wow.
All of which
Colorful with nice clouds.
Okay.
Gotta have some clouds, not too many clouds.
Does the scenery matter? You can be home and have that, or beach?
Scenery matters little.
Okay.
a little.
Yeah.
But wherever you can find one, it happens twice a day, technically once.
You get to see it
which
in your
is
building?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Send her pictures.
Yeah, you do send me pictures. I have a whole like almost album of sunset photos from his work.
Cool. You got a nice view there. It's a nice view there. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking about my appreciative moment. I think mine's more just appreciating the small things that you do. Because it's something that came to mind earlier this week, and I felt like I've just like noticed little things here and there, but I feel like you do little small things to try to make my day easier, and I don't always tell you that I notice it, that you did it, but I do, and I always appreciate it. And they can be like really small things, like like he organized my jewelry for me and put my necklaces back in my jewelry box, and like
so nice.
got my earrings all like tidy to one spot, and that's actually a really big deal for me.
Yeah.
Somebody who wears jewelry every day.
Don't lose them. It's like, yeah, she's gonna want to have that right there.
Or like prepping my coffee for me in the morning, or even just like I don't know if it was earlier this week or last week, but I had an early day, so he made the coffee. He like set up the coffee the night before so that the timer just went off in the morning, and then I woke up to freshly brewed coffee. He didn't even have to get out of bed because it was just done. But it's like a small thing, but it sets the day off right.
Yeah, it really does.
Coffee goes a long way with this one.
Sure does. It sure does.
Think so,
That's
it does,
nice. Yeah. Did you guys want to like shout out where people could find you guys, or?
Oh my goodness.
Nowhere. You can't find me. I'm on
Instagram. Can't find you. Yeah.
I'm nowhere. I'm not really doing anything. I have an Instagram. I think it's @JessDunk.
Nice.
With 2 Ks.
Games. Yeah. Could have some people like play some games with you guys.
At T-Dub time. That's
Nice.
two B's.
Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. That's that. I was gonna shout out the website, but the Wellboard or.
Oh, and we don't really have it.
Oh, the business? Yeah, no, we're in default on that. The business is gone.
Yeah, okay. I got you. It's there. It's just a little hiatus. Yeah. Okay. I got you guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. Remember to rate, like, comment, and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. I'm on TikTok now, so look me up. I really hope that this conversation was awesome sauce, and if you relate, please email me at imjustsharingpod@gmail.com. I feel that's all of them. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Oh yeah, thanks for being my first official guest.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah. Nice. You're right. Nice.